So I make some rice. Welcome everyone. This is a cooking video for people who like to eat food. And in this cooking video, I'll be showing you how to make my version of fried rice. I call it divine fried rice. And it's really something that touches every spot in my personal climax, let's say. For this, I'll be using basmati rice. I like to use corn. It's really sweet in my fried rice. I like to use a bouillon cube for when I'm cooking the rice. I use some leek for freshness at the end. I use some green onions for freshness at the end too. I use as a consistent thing in the rice, nice and juicy, nice and flavorful, I use king oyster mushrooms, and these mushrooms are great. My god, I love them so much. I like to cut them in two different parts. I ideally like to use dried beef. This one is kind of done with the same spice blend as biltong, and I added some MSG and sugar to boost certain other flavors. It's marinated and seasoned meat, and ideally I like to use it, but in this recipe I'll make it vegetarian because my girlfriend's vegetarian. I like to use peanut oil. It's very flavorful, and I like to fry my rice in it, and I like to use a good amount of it, but not too much. And I like to use some MSG for adding into the rice, adding into the bouillon mixed with miso paste. Did I show you the miso paste? I have not. Sorry, second roll of the video. I like to use miso paste and mix it with the bouillon cube in some hot water. It provides a real nice flavor. And I like to use ginger powder and garlic for flavoring the rice at the start. So after toasting the rice real nice, I like to add the garlic, and right before putting in the water, I like to add the ginger powder. If you have fresh ginger, add it way before the garlic as the rice is toasting, because that thing takes a while to cook. And I like to use my non-stick pan for this method that I'll be showing you. I think Andong has a better version of that in his channel. His channel's name is My Name is Andong. Really great cook. I really recommend him. I keep forgetting we have eggs. We're gonna use 3 eggs to make an omelette. Yo, 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 it's the rice maker. Here, I like to use all of my rice. So the thing is, I'm gonna toast the rice before steaming it, and it provides a real nice texture to the rice. It doesn't let it stick to each other. It's makes each rice thingy really nice. And I add all of it that, and after I do that, I like to even it out and then add my peanut oil. You can use sunflower oil, anything that doesn't burn and allows the rice to toast. I like to use a good amount of oil. To mix the rice so that each rice grain gets coated in oil. Now we let that wait and toast, and we stir it every once in a while. So this method is with an induction plate, and I'll explain you the instructions further down the video. In this mug, I like to crush bouillon. This is vegetable bouillon. Add it, and I like to add my miso paste. A bit of quite hot water. Does the job. This water is not that hot, so it doesn't do the job that well. But we'll be fine. We'll keep stirring. Keep stirring. Don't be an idiot like me. Add boiling water next time. vegetable butter. It works pretty well. Once stuff is boiling, it'll spread. And we have another thing, and I added a little bit of MSG. I liked it to get totally into the rice, not just in crystals at the end. And now we've got our water. So before we add the water, we're going to quickly get our garlic. Just enough for our fried rice. And here, I like it to toast for a little while. For like a little minute. Here, our rice is turning brownish. That's just the right time to add our garlic in, as it's developing some nutty flavors. And once you've let the garlic chill in there for a little bit, once the sharpness is coming out of it, as right now it's cooking very quickly, it's going to be finished cooking when we're boiling. We don't want to burn the garlic. As you can see, it's in little pieces spread out through the ice. And I like to let it wait just a little more as the rice is toasting and getting this beautiful golden color. Have to make it wait just a little while, stirring it very often so that any garlic doesn't have the time to burn on the high heat. I like to add our mix. A little more. So here I added 1 full cup plus 75. 1 full cup plus 75. So 175 cups for 1 cup of rice. And it was 1 entire cup of rice. So here, it's incredibly garlicky, incredibly aromatic. It's very flavorful. It's very nice smelling. Everything's doing its business, you know. I like to stir it a little bit so that any bouillon cubes that were perhaps in big pieces get to melt into the rice that's hot and not stick to the bottom, because they tend to do that. That's why you should thoroughly crush your bouillon cube before adding it in your fried rice special method. It's time to close it. And what else do we do here? I like to get the heat way down. So I like to use 3 eggs for this. And I like to reuse the mug because I used it for everything, and I'll be using it for the last process, which is making the egg omelette. And it's fine because there's going to be a little bit of bouillon in there. That's going to salt the omelette lightly, but not too much. I like to coat my pan evenly in oil so that no surface of it is sticking. This used to be a non-stick pan, but over time got used by a lot of people. So now it's a stick pan. It's pretty nice. And here we've got a pretty good coated pan. I'm waiting for the heat to rise. After I mix my omelette, I pour it into this pit of oil. And let it move around, do its thingy. And as the oil touches it, it cooks. We're going to be saving that oil to cook our mushrooms in. I like those little sheets. And we wait a little bit till this motherfucker goes up in heat. What I did is I had the omelette cook with the lid on top of it, and I rolled it into a little burrito, and now it's just doing its thing. I like to get it nice and crisp here, brownish on the sides, soft in the middle, to have a nice contrasting texture when we'll be cutting this down. And with the leftover oil, we don't want it to burn, so we reduce the heat so we can keep that leftover oil and use it to really thoroughly fry our egg. It's nice to have a bit of brown on there. It's really nice. Come up. Please be sure to remove all of your belongings out of the pan, except the oil. I'll be adding my king oyster mushrooms that are diced into pieces. We have the top still, which we're going to add later as they're softer and they're easier to cook than the chunks. And I want these to fry really well. Alright? So let the frying begin. Here, we don't want any spices, anything yet on these. Let them soak up that oil. Let's add a little bit of oil to help lubricate these motherfuckers. Alright, they're pretty well lubricated. I like to add a little bit of salt on top of these. You know, just a nice coarse grind so that it does what it does. And then as these are frying, toss them around. And I like to let them sit for a bit. Because when you let them sit, only one side gets exposed and gets really nicely, you know, kind of charred, kind of crispy, brown, charred. I like that. I really like it. All right, let's put this on the side and get back to it after we cut our mushroom heads. So here we have the big pieces. I like the small little cubes as they don't really look like mushrooms anymore. And the big parts of mushroom as those ones, well, they'll look like a mushroom, but at the same time they'll be so large and nice. And these ones are quite hard as mushrooms, so feel nice and chewy. Kind of like meat. Really good substitute. Be sure that none of the pieces stick. Alright, as this is frying, we want to reduce the heat just a little bit so that it doesn't go too high and it doesn't burn. Alright? I like to add my corn here, as that provides a nice sweetness to this mushroom. And as I add my corn, I like to add a very tiny amount of water. And as we have that water doing its thing, what we add here is two simple things: soy sauce and sugar. Not too much soy sauce, just a little bit. Just a sprinkle. I like to add a good amount of sugar, as it will sweeten our mushroom. I up the heat to max. My onion powder. Add that. And as it will thicken it and give a nice onion flavor. Here I like to add my leek. And as this is done, we want to go and check the rice. As you can see here, our rice is nice and steamed. Perfect looking, right? Now, what we want to do is put down the heat, open the rice, and start stirring. So first, if you want to check the quality of your rice, the first thing you do is you lift and look at what's happening there. Right there, we got some beautiful rice crust. So we got some beautiful rice crust, and I like to turn it and distribute it among the rice, which at this point is very fragrant, very nutty, very flavorful. And you see here, each petal, each rice grain falling one by one, not sticking to each other. On top of that, it has a really nice crust developed into it. Alright, we take this off the stove and we let it chill nearby. And as that chills, we prepare the rest of our ingredients. So here, as it lost its steam a little bit, let's add our new ingredients. So this is the mushrooms, the leek, the corn, all fried together, then sauced. Remember to add your leek after you sauce it, and way beyond when it's not cooking, because you don't want that leek to cook. The residual heat will even cook your leek, as right now the leek is cooked a little bit. Here, we'll mix the rice, and be sure that all of that soy sauce that's on the mushrooms gets spread out through it, and gets off the mushrooms a little, and that salt gets into the rice. And once you're at that stage, you want to add your egg in, so that one, your egg won't be as tainted, and the rice will have gotten that color, and your egg will look bright and nice in your food. As well, yeah, we eat with our eyes too. We want to finish it by adding our greens after it's real nice and warm. I mean, real nice and no longer warm, just barely mild, so that these don't get cooked and they remain as fresh as possible. Mix your rice well. Always mix your rice well. And here at the end, as everyone does it, and I do it too, it's really nice, really provides a great flavor. Tribute to Sweet Agile on YouTube, really cool creator. I recommend watching her channel too. I like to eat a little drizzle of sesame oil and mix it thoroughly, because the parts where you have added that sesame oil, they will taste very strong. And here we have a vegetarian version of the divine rice complete. It's the end of the video, and thank you for watching. It was a great pleasure to teach you a few things, perhaps. Perhaps I didn't teach you anything. And if you have any criticism or anything you'd like to share or any appreciation, feel free to write a comment. Subscribe if you'd like to see more music content, perhaps podcasts, and some food related content. Yeah. Well, while finishing, I like to add one thing, and it's chili oil. Here, I haven't made my own chili oil, as that's far less superior than any chili oil you can buy, but Laoganma chili oil is one of the best chili oils out there, with its nice content of MSG. And I like to add a little bit on the top of my rice, and drizzle a bit of the oil to add some real nice color onto it. It's not spicy, it's really tasty, and can't wait to dig in. Now that's some good fried rice. Try it yourself. Be sure that your stuff is really fried. And once you get that real nice crispy textures with those soft textures, it's really good.